Mr. Del Greco and his wife are at that corner on a daily basis and could testify that this is basically consistent with what their observations are as to the corner. Now, we have submitted in the parking plan to you, we've taken away the 3 parking spaces that are in front of the premises. They will no longer be used as parking, and we believe that will greatly alleviate any of the, like I said, I believe they're perceived the dangerous intersection. So we're hoping that this specific evidence that we're giving to you will be able to show you that the traffic will not be a problem should the board again grant the beer and wine license. I will reiterate to you that they've tried to do dinner again, and it's just not working. That this is the only, we believe, to open up with the beer and wine license is the only way to really have this business survive as viable. It isn't a business zone. It's properly zoned for this. And again, I know I don't want to, because I know you're running late, and I don't want to repeat over and over again, but we believe that the conditions that we've offered for this license would assure that this remains a family restaurant that will service the community while allowing people to come in for dinner and have a glass of wine or a bottle of beer with their dinner. As I said, we're willing to take the condition that alcohol be served only in conjunction with food. Our employees will be trained in alcohol service. We don't believe that that this would be anything other than a true addition to the business community by allowing this to be a full-service restaurant allowing beer and wine. Mr. Del Greco is going to, you can get up, he's going to testify. As I said, I'm going to submit these to you, and I can give them to you in another form as well. But we just wanted to run it down so that you can read across exactly. I mean, it has the road conditions, it has everything. It's very, very specific about that corner.
What were the numbers again? 2005, 6, and 7.
Okay, in 2000, okay, I'll just open it up. In 2007, we have 90 automobile accidents on Main Street, 1 on Washington and Park. In 2006, there was also only 1 accident on Washington and Park, while there was 84 accidents on Main Street. And in 2005, there were 2 accidents at Washington and Park and 62 on Main Street. And by the way, when you look at this, as I said, this is every accident in the entire town. So it's so you'll be able to see
every accident in the entire town.
In the town.
Or just Main Street.
Well, because of the the concentration of alcohol licenses being on Main Street, that's why I'm pointing it out. I mean, it's not that we were just, that's the reason why I'm bringing up Main Street.
If I may continue.
Yes.
And I'd like to submit these if
Mr.
I may.
Yule.
I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
I mean, those are big differences in the numbers. The Main Street is how long?
Main Street stretches all the way from the, who knows?
Right. It's
5 miles.
No, it's not 5 miles, but it's
2 miles.
it's a lot longer than the corner of
Correct.
Park and,
I agree.
that's what, now if you compared, now years ago you had North Street and Main Street, and a lot of accidents until they put a light in there. And then you had Winter Street and Park Street, and you had accidents there, and they put a light in there, and I don't think there's been an accident since. Okay, and I don't even know if there's been an accident on Park Street, and I mean North and Main Street. So I guess what I'm looking at here is you're comparing 4 miles against an intersection.
Well, I think it's not the comparison itself. It's what we're looking at is that the number of accidents that occurred at Park and Washington are extremely low, and you'll see that they occur a lot. Some of them are occurring at 8:30 in the morning. Some of there's no consistent pattern here. we're showing to you that the perception that this is a dangerous intersection is just not borne out by the records that are maintained by the state.
Now, if you compared that intersection, say, with the intersection of Concord and Park, if you compared it to, I can't think of the other one right now.
It's more at Concord and Park than one a year.
I'm sorry?
There are more at Concord and Park than one a year.
Yes, I would assume that, okay. But if you compare it with corner to, apples against apples to me, take a variety of corners that are dangerous, perceived dangerous corners, okay, or statistically for that matter, and then make those comparisons, to me that would have more substance in that.
We have the ability, and we can, you now have the ability to do that too. As I said, we want to remind you, this is a business zone. So it's zoned for commerce, and you would expect that in a business zone that more traffic would be expected, and so we're as I said, we're properly located for this type of business, and it's just, we don't think that addition, especially taking away the 3 parking spaces, that a business open in the evening where people can have dinner and a glass of wine just is not going to appreciably add to any kind of traffic problems. As I said, not enough to form substantial evidence or a basis with which to deny the license on that basis.
Mr. Chairman, just as a
Mr.
follow-up
O'Leary.
to Mr. Yule's comments, and maybe a question to it, he was saying comparing apples to apples. I look at the corner of Washington and Park Street, and then all of Main Street is more like kumquats to watermelons, There is no comparison there. Now, if you want to tell me, as you talk about where Daniela's was during this time period, the corner of Main Street and Clough Ave, look at that. China Cuisine in North Street, there's a traffic signal there. The Horseshoe in Wilson Ave, Kitty's in Winter Street, Mario's in Kingston Street. Then we're talking about an intersection, and we're talking about something very similar. But, what you're looking to present here, again, it's not apples to oranges. As I said, it's kumquats to watermelons.
All I'm looking to present is the number of accidents that have occurred on Washington and Park, because that's the area
But
that we're
comparing
talking
it,
about.
you're presenting to us a study that was done, an analysis that was done based on 2.5, 3 miles of stretch of Route 28.
Well, as I said, what we're introducing to you is every automobile accident that occurs, that you can look at it. But what we're doing, but the main point is that this is not a dangerous intersection, and that the addition of a dinner restaurant would just not appreciably add to any of the concerns. The standard for granting the license is not is that there is any change. It's whether or not it's unreasonable in light of what is in the area, and that's what I'm saying. With this, because there's basically no traffic impact now, we don't believe that there would be anymore. As I stated to you in the first hearing, you already have a record here, because this restaurant operates at full capacity on Saturday and Sunday mornings. I mean, there are people backing out. They're doing everything. They're turning over 3 and 4 times, so that you can already see what this restaurant is at full capacity. This is that the addition of a beer and wine license just does not change that complexion, and especially in light of the conditions that we're offering to be placed on the license, and that we will accept and comply with. And that being that we want people to eat, have a great dinner, and then leave, and so that we can have as many turnovers as possible. But it's not meant to. We don't intend to really make it a drinking establishment. The conditions that we're offering would prevent that, and we would also, as I said, close at 10:30, and so that we would be, people would be long gone before, before anything could get out of hand, where all the other establishments in the town are open. It's just, we cannot tell you anything more about what we can do. We'd like the opportunity to go in there and operate it. It's been a great restaurant so far, and there's no reason to believe that it would be anything but.
Chairman? Am I?
Yes.
I'd like to concur with your comments. You're right, we've seen it at its capacity on Saturdays and Sunday mornings. And as I stated at the initial hearing, just, probably 3 Saturdays ago, 4 Saturdays ago, I was stopped as I was coming on Park Street, heading towards the Linfield line. I was stopped by a patron to allow another car to back out and across Park Street. So, right, we have experienced it, we have seen it. I've seen it Saturday and Sunday mornings. I'm not looking to see that in that experience at full capacity on a Thursday night at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. The situation is very different from, 9 o'clock on a Saturday morning or 9:30 on a Saturday morning than 9:30 at night.
Well, I understand, but
So, I would concur with
like I
your
said, though,
observations. And I
it
find
is
that
a
to be
community,
somewhat,
yeah.
that's the safety factors that I'm concerned with. People have become accustomed to the success of the business there, not just this one, but others over the years, during the daylight normal working hours for whatever establishments have ever been there. What you're looking for is an expansion, to enjoy some additional success later into the evening, incorporating, again, hopefully full capacity with the turnovers 3 times an evening.
But the ability to deny a license is also based on what the evidence is, not what may be or conjecture, especially when you're talking about something that's in a business zone where this kind of commerce is anticipated by the zoning laws.
We have lots of zoning laws that allow for a whole host of businesses, but the businesses, and that's why we have a local licensing and permitting process, so that, while it may be an approved use for the zone, it may not be an appropriate use for that specific location, and that's why we have hearings. I mean, otherwise, it's not just a carte blanche.
Well, I'm submitting to you that this is an appropriate use, and the grant of the license would be a benefit to the community as a whole. This is it's a different type of restaurant than the other restaurants that you have. It's a family-owned business. They're paying employees, they're paying taxes, and they want to be and have shown themselves to be responsible members of the community so far. They've had great support, and we'd like to be able to have the ability to expand this and be a different type of restaurant. It's just not big, huge sports bar thing. As I said, one of the other conditions that we would take on the license is that we have one TV, that we not be granted any further entertainment. So that would also ensure that this does not become what you were afraid of. It's just, but the people come backing in and out, I submit to you, is not reason enough to deny a license. It's just not substantial evidence enough to believe that this is going to be a public hazard in any way. I'm happy to answer any questions. So we've gone, we've talked, we've thought, we're doing the best we can. We believe that, we're taking away, parking spaces that have been there for decades in order to accommodate any concerns that would be there. Yes.
Are you prepared to make, if we were to grant the license, a condition of the license to be the removal of those 3 spots? I know your engineered design plan shows that they're eliminated, but would you be willing to accept that as a condition?
Yes.
Granting the license?
If I may, we've been told by the police department they're not there now. They're not supposed to be there.
Well, I haven't seen any, that was